Hi, my name is Markeisha, and this is my Skills PDC. So, for my Skills PDC, I actually chose to focus on learning how to use Smart Notebook and then using Smart Notebook to create an activity or lesson for my students. Last year, when I was going through student teaching, and pretty much in all of my past experience in field placements, I never truly learned how to use Smart Notebook because in the classrooms that I was placed in, my teachers didn't necessarily use it a lot. So I never got a lot of personal experience on how I can use this tool to really benefit my students and make activities and lessons even more interactive for the students. So I really thought that would be a great thing to focus on because as a future reading specialist, I really want to be able to provide my students with these activities and games and lessons that are also interactive because it's all about that engagement factor. It's all about what I'm using to draw them in and make them interested and make them ideally love learning what we do. So I really focused on this skill, and I knew that when I chose this skill, I also wanted to apply it to what I'm doing now. And so right now, I'm a reading tutor at the Reading Center. So I wanted to use something that was realistic to me right now, as well as that what could be realistic to me in the future. So I chose to focus on something that most of my students that I tutor are kind of struggling with. So as I'm tutoring my students on these letter sounds and words, I noticed that a lot of my students are kind of struggling with their ER, IR, and UR sounds. It's something that they kind of get confused and mixed up with one another. Um, and I've been thinking, what can I do to really help them learn this skill? And so, after doing a lot of research, a lot of tutorials, a lot of articles about how to use Smart Notebook, I decided to go with this idea of creating a game or activity where they would have to use these words and put them where they belong based on their letter sounds. And each one is different. And there's three categories. We've got ER right here, we've got IR in the middle, and then UR. And they're different colors for the students. I really liked creating this lesson slash activity because it's something that I can use now and it's something that I could use this idea in the future. And I can not only use this for reading, I can honestly use this activity idea for math, and we can do numbers or multiplication facts, which goes in which box, those type of things. So I'm really looking into how can I apply this skill for future use. So as I was creating and learning how to use Smart Notebook and learning how to create these activities, I wanted to also make my activity appealing to young children. So as you can see in my background, I actually decided to go with an autumn slash fall theme. And the reason that I chose that is because right now it's towards the end of October and it is autumn. We are in autumn season. And so my students also know that, of course. And so I just wanted to make it something that was, kind of fun to look at and interesting. And obviously, I could change that depending on the season or the time or there's a specific color that I wanted. Okay, so now moving into the logistics of this activity. So this is a reading slash phonics activity, and it's to help with those letter sounds. We're focusing again on ER, IR, and UR. So the way that this activity works is that basically the end goal is that there will be no words down here. So the student's goal is to get rid of all of these words by putting them where they belong correctly. And as I'm watching a student do this on the actual smartboard, I will be able to see and observe and analyze, are they actually understanding these concepts or are they only doing trial and error? Because the way it works is that you choose a word. So for example, we're going to go with the word smaller. You choose a word. So if I if I have no idea how this works and no idea which box this belongs to, I'm just going to try them all, right? So let's say I'll start with you are. Let's try you are. Nope. And the way that this tells me no is that it bounces it right back to where it belongs if that's not the correct box. So now I know it's not you are. Now I'm going to try I are. Does that work? Nope. Again, it's not the correct box, so it bounces it right back. So now my only option left is ER. And that worked. And the way I know that it worked is that if it goes in the box that it belongs to, it then flies away off of the screen completely. So now, as you can see, it's not even in my word bank anymore. It's nowhere in here. The word is gone because I got rid of it and I put it where it belongs. And that is our goal for this game or activity. So if I'm watching a student complete this, one way that I can really understand whether or not the student is understanding the actual concepts, if they're getting these letter sounds correctly, is that I can see, are they getting these right on their first try? Or do they have to go through every single box to figure out where it belongs? Because at that point, that is telling me that the student is really just doing trial and error and guessing rather than putting it correctly. So it is going to be kind of easy for me to tell if a student is actually mastering these skills or are they just taking a wild guess. So for this purpose, we are going to go through all of the words because we want this to be completely blank by the end. That shows me that we know where each word belongs. So first, for this sake, again, I'm going to try a box that I know it doesn't belong to. So I know this is an ER word, but I'm going to try it anyway, just to see what happens again. And it bounces it right back to me. So I know it's IR actually, so I'm going to put in IR, and it disappears by flying away. So that is correct. So we're going to go through each of these words, and we're just going to watch them disappear. Because if I'm a student and I understand these letter sounds, I know where they belong. I can see these patterns. And I'm also going to be encouraging my students to say the word as they put the words away in the correct box. So, surf, air, her, whisper, fur, curl, burn, butter, bird, Saturday, dirt, burp, turn, funnier, slower, faster. And so you get the gist. All of these words have gone to where they belong. We only have two more, thirst. And now I'm going to use slower as an example to show you how I learned how to make these words go where they belonged. Where they belong. So, slower. So to make this word go where it belongs, I'm going to choose, I'm going to go over here to this puzzle piece. I'm going to choose edit. And now, as you can see, it actually brings me back to all of the words. Okay, so we've got slower. I'm gonna double click my ER. I'm going to double click this box. This is my ER box. And I'm going to put slower. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to drag slower here. let's see here. Let's go ahead and create another one because this isn't exactly cooperating. Let's see if this will work better. Okay, so now I created a new one. I've got my box. I'm pressing edit. Now you can see all of the words that are accepted into this box, and then you can see that all of the rest that are rejected. So my goal was to put all of the ER words where it says accept, and then all of the other words go in the reject box. So now I'm actually going to take slower. I'm going to drag it here. And as you can see, it just added it right there for me. So now it should work. Okay, so we're going to press done. We're going to go back. So now it works. So I did that for each and every one of the words. I put them in the box that they belonged, and then I had to choose. There was an option that said select, or it said reject all of the other words, which made it really easy because I didn't actually have to one by one input the words that I did not want to be there. I could just choose the option that said reject. So that was really nice. And again, I learned all of these skills from reading articles and watching tutorials. And I really had to do a lot of research because I personally really did not know where to start. With this skill, I've never dug into Smart Notebook too much. So I did not know where to start. I kind of had to start fresh at the bottom. That's kind of what I did. And remember, our goal is to get rid of all of our words, and we did. Now our whole bottom is absolutely empty. We're here with the 3 boxes that we started off with. All of the words went away. That is our goal. That is the goal for each student. So this is definitely an activity that I would use with my students because they are struggling with these sounds. And as I become a future reading specialist, I can use this idea to individualize my activities with my students because they're going to be struggling with different letter sounds. And I can switch those out. I can create new words. And this is really the type of activity that I can use for all sorts of different subject areas. And so I see it as a really valuable technology tool that I'm definitely going to be using in my future. So I'm really glad I spent the time to really understand and learn how to work with this technology tool. But this is my Skills PDC. Again, I'm Markeisha. Thanks for watching.